Morning, everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. My name is Alpa Sharma, and this is our daily editorial analysis. Can you hear and see me clearly, everybody? Vishal, Harshita, Sai, good morning. I'm absolutely good. Thank you so much for asking, everyone. Can you hear and see me clearly, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible. Yes, clearly visible and audible. All right, guys. So 22nd of February, another month very close to the end. Lesser time left for our preparation, but our Josh is high. So keep continuing the practice. Before we start off with the session today, and before I tell you what we're going to do today, if you're targeting the crash course for CLAT 2022, our batch 2 has been launched. So look no further, jaldi se enroll kar lo. Free trial start हो चुका है. Late करोगे तो बहुत सारी classes miss कर दोगे. Time बहुत कम है आपके पास. अगर CLAT 23 टारगेट कर रहे हो, एक न्यू बैच लॉन्च हुआ है फाउंडेशन मॉड्यूल का, बैच 8, where I'll be teaching as well. So इसके लिए भी आपको जल्दी से एनरोल करना पड़ेगा because दिसंबर क्लैट के लिए भी बहुत टाइम नहीं है आपके पास. If you're targeting MHCT, ALET, SLAT, BLET, JAMIA, these law entrance examinations, क्योंकि इनका पैटर्न थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट होता है क्लैट से, अलग बैच है, बैच 2 है, इसके लिए भी आप जल्दी से एनरोल कर सकते हो अगर ये लॉ एंट्रेंस एग्जामिनेशंस आपका टारगेट है तो. And if you don't wish to study every subject, but you want to study only legal affairs and current events, then batch 2 for this booster course where specifically these two subjects will be taught. You could enroll yourself for this batch as well. Okay. So, nahi movies, nahi padna. Yes, Ali, what's your question, beta? Yes, Sanchit, it is. Absolutely, it is. Stick with me till the end of the class and you'll know why is that important. Just one class, okay? All right, good morning, everyone. Okay, so that's about our programs. Now, what are we going to do in the class today? We will take up 2 articles, okay, and we will be discussing both the articles in detail by converting these articles from the editorials into reading comprehensions. So I'll be asking you multiple inference, main idea, tone, and multiple other questions. Which of the following is true, false, critical reasoning type passages or RC type passages. So these editorials will be converted into critical reasoning or CR passages, and that's how we'll be solving that. The 2 articles that I'm going to take today, one is going to be from the Indian Express, another is going to be from the Hindu. So these are the 2 articles we'll be discussing. We'll take out all the vocabulary from these articles and we will understand the meanings. Sometimes in between the articles, I'll give you synonyms and antonyms questions as well that usually CLAT would ask you. In the end, we'll discuss the tone of the author. एक question है आज tone of the author के basis पे और बहुत सारे questions है एक article पे. दूसरा आर्टिकल जो है हिंदू का वो इतना I told you it's a Bollywood story. इतनी इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी है कि सरप्राइजिंगली कल बहुत सारे लोगों को आर्टिकल समझ में नहीं आया. So we'll be discussing that article and we'll see what happened actually and why is it such a Bollywood kind of a story. What is happening with the SEBI and NSE. So we'll be discussing that. In the end, you could write down the summary of each article under my video in the comment section, which I will check every day. And in the end, we'll look at today's Hindu and Indian Express and we'll see what are the important articles we need to study from both the newspapers and which articles can we leave. So that's going to be our agenda of the day. Okay. Now, question है how to put maths in our pocket. Okay, one quick answer इस चीज के लिए 15 से 20 marks maximum की mathematics आती है. If you are weak at mathematics, it's a boon for you because this is an examination that doesn't give you a lot of weightage for mathematics. ALET जिसने mathematics completely eliminate ही कर दिया है. Okay, now out of 15 marks, probably 15-18 questions जो आपके पास आते हैं CLAT में maths के, can you manage to score a good 8-9? If you are extremely weak with maths, if you are able to score a good 8-9 doing basic chapters, ask your maths teacher कि सर मैं ऐसे कौन से chapters जरूर कर लूं जो मुझे ये 8-9 marks ensure कर देंगे. उतनी practice करके अगर आप 8-9 score भी ले आते हैं, you make a balance into your stronger section, scoring really well there and scoring a little bit in mathematics, a good balance can be created. So how to put mathematics in your pocket if you're bad with mathematics? I would say good 8-9 marks की mathematics तो करके ही आना एग्जाम में. हाँ, लेकिन ये मत सोचना कि मैं 0 मार्क की मैथमेटिक्स करके क्लैट क्लियर कर लूंगा, ये एक बड़ा मिसकंसेप्शन है, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. सो आई होप इट मेक्स सेंस एवरीवन. अली, ओके, ऑल राइट. एंड देन मैम लीगल एंड करंट अफेयर्स की क्लास कब होता है ऑन यूट्यूब? एवरी डे. सो फॉर दैट you'll have to subscribe to the channel. You'll know that happens every day. Okay, so yes, okay. Purva, I'll do that today, bache. I did some yesterday, I'll do yours today as well. Okay. And also the text and context, there is a news that the crisis in Ukraine, Donbass region, ma'am, that will also, no, not today. I would not take that today. No. I might take it tomorrow. All right. Ma'am, in the Hindu editorial, there's a news that a red pen movement for corporate governance is important. If you want me, I can take it tomorrow. All right. Okay. All right. So for now, I think most of the questions have been answered. Let's continue with the class today. So let's start with vocabulary from today's articles that I'm going to discuss. The first one, tantrum. You guys have seen my daughter, right? So if she says, no, I'm going to sit into your YouTube class, and if I say, no, you can't, she would throw a tantrum. What that is? So a frustration or an anger or an ill-tempered reaction of usually a child, a young child, is a tantrum. But usually children do it, but that does not mean adults can't throw tantrums. They can. Okay. I want to eat pav bhaji and I ask my mother, and if she disagrees, I can throw a tantrum too. So tantrum is an ill-tempered, frustrating reaction is a tantrum. Next word, amnesia. Amnesia is a situation where you lose your memory. It could be because people are growing old. Okay, it could be a result of that, but it could be a result of many things. They lose their memory, not sometimes completely, sometimes partial. That state of mind is amnesia. They were suffering from amnesia. That means they were becoming forgetful. They could not remember things. It could be because of many things. Okay, all right. Okay. What happened? What happened? What happened? I'll do the remaining, I'll check all the remaining messages today, okay? All right. So, next one. Yes, Sai, we're going to take that. Next word, unmoored. Okay, so unmoored is, moorings are when you're thoughtful, okay? When you think and you're concerned about a lot of things. But unmoored is you are confused, you don't know what is going around you, you feel insecure. Right now, in all the class aspirants' mind, since you're targeting May CLAT, the feeling of being unmoved may set into your heart because you may feel insecure about the fact that you may get into an NLU or not. You may feel confused or disconnected sometimes during the mock because there's a lot of pressure. That feeling is unmooring. So the loss of his wife has unmoored him. He's become lost, confused. He doesn't know what to do. That is unmooring. So many new words today. Yes? Okay. Blackout, memory loss, incognizance. Yes, Arshia, you could say that. Okay. Chaos for unmoved. Yes. Bewildered for unmoved. Related word. Okay. Puzzled. Yes. Correct. Okay. The next one. Next one is assimilate. So assimilation is carefully understanding, processing everything that's available to you. So you comprehend it carefully. Mary tried to assimilate the week's events. She tried to comprehend, she tried to understand what all happened during the week. That is assimilation. Processing is assimilation. Any synonyms to it, anyone? Gloomy for unmooring. Anushka, that's a related word. Okay? All right. Giddy, yes. Yes, giddy as well. Okay, the next word is du jour. Okay, so we have a lot of these foreign phrases which are so commonly used in legal language. This is one of them. So du jour is describing something that is enjoying great, but probably it's a short-lived one. A short-lived publicity, short-lived popularity is du jour. Can you name a person who went through this? A very popular one, but the popularity was short-lived. But then the person enjoyed that popularity. Like black comedy is the genre du jour. That is short-lived publicity, short-lived popularity. Not usually a long one that would go on, like Lata Mangeshkar. went on for generations and generations. No, but du jour is the opposite. Okay? Absorption is assimilation, Aradhya. Absolutely right. You are correct. Yes, Mahima, it is. Okay. So, scrutinize, Arshia, for assimilate, yes, it can be. Bruce Lee, okay. Sushant Singh Rajput. बचपन का प्यार. What are you trying to say? Sunil Grover, Shashi Tharoor ka? नहीं, Shashi Tharoor का short lived तो नहीं है, but he is still very popular. Okay. So Badam Kaka song. Yes, very, very good examples. Okay. Michael Jackson? Yes. Yes, stand-up comedians in India. Correct. Slide number 1. Take a screenshot. Let's move to the next slide, everybody, very quickly. Okay. Dhinchak Puja. Good. Adjudication. ये आपको पता होना चाहिए. Adjudicate is to make a formal judgment in a disputed matter. The formal decree coming from the apex court, coming from any court, is adjudication. The committee adjudicates on all betting disputes. It gives a formal judgment on all the disputes of betting. That's adjudication. You should know this word, very, very frequently used in your legal articles. Okay? All right. Next one. Okay. Yes. So the next word, pertaining, belonging to something. So pertaining to CLAT, relating to CLAT, belonging to CLAT is pertaining. The shop premises and stock and all assets pertaining to the business, that is relating to that business. All the stocks that relate to this business. Relating to something, belonging to something is pertaining, everyone. Okay? Arbitration बोल सकते हो, decree बोल सकते हो, retribution, okay. Fate, yes. Decree, yes. Conclusion, verdict, yes. Pertain is germane, a related one. Ayushi, a related one. All right. The next one is stumble. Stumbling. So when you keep walking and a stone comes into your way, you would stumble. Ladkhadana, losing your balance, almost toppling over it. So to topple over something is to stumble, lose your momentum, lose your balance. Her foot caught in the rug and she stumbled. She lost her balance, but she almost fell. That is stumbling or toppling. Okay? Pertaining, stumble is topple, yes. Slipping, yes, it is. Shivani, yes, it's a related word. Fall is a close one, not an exact synonym though. It's a close one. Reeling, yes, Rebel, reeling. Audit. अब देखो क्योंकि सेबी और एनएससी पे आर्टिकल डिस्कस करना है तो ऑडिट तो आप सबको पता होगा ये का काम होता है, वो ऑडिट करता है. बेसिकली it scrutinizes and checks everything in detail on usually an independent body. So for example, I have an organization, I have a business, and then when an audit is done, every single transaction is checked, every single thing is put into accounts, and a detailed inspection is done about what transactions have happened, what are the losses, what are the incomes, everything will be discussed in detail here. Audit can't be expected to detect every fraud. That scrutiny that audit does cannot necessarily mean that every fraud is identified. Okay? Very good, Ali, and persistency will make sure you get through. Remember that. Okay? Check, inspect, examine. Yes, all of these are synonyms. Okay? Yes, Sanchit. Very good. Exactly. All right. So the last word for the slide, ostensibly, is visibly, apparently. You can't ignore it. It is not necessarily true, but it's visible. So it could be pretending something that might not be true. So pretentious and ostentatious are related. You can see this, but in reality, it may not necessarily be the fact. कुछ दिखता है आपको clearly, लेकिन जरूरी नहीं है वो true हो. That's ostensibly. So the party secretary resigned ostensibly from ill health. अब resign तो कर दिया, सबको ये दिख रहा था, reason सबको ये दिया था that the health was ill. In reality, the reason could be something else. Ostensibly is what is visible to everybody, what is apparent to somebody. Probably true, but in reality, something else. Apparently is a synonym. Okay? All right. Mm, evidently, okay. To all appearance, yes. Yes, Midat. Report, yes. Utopian, एक related word हो गया. Okay. Seemingly, superficially, yes. Prudent नहीं होगा grey smoke. No, prudent cannot be दिया for ostensibly. Okay? All right. Slide number 2, जल्दी से screenshot ले लो. Next slide is here. Hamstrung is to restrict something so that it becomes less effective, is hamstrung. We were hamstrung by a total lack of knowledge. So because our knowledge was less, we were restricted and we could not be very effective. So that restriction, that barricade is hamstrung. Got that, everyone? Okay. Conspicuous, superficially, for ostensibly, yes. Yes, Shivani, it could be. It could be. Absolutely. Very good, Shivani. The same medium could be used. Okay, superficially हो सकता है. Hamstrung, hinder, curb, impediment. Very good. Very good. Okay. Stunted. Yes, rebel. Correct. Dilatory. Anything that delays anything, that curbs anything, is dilatory. So they resorted to dilatory tactics, forcing a postponement of peace talks. So they resorted to tactics that delayed the peace talks, that hindered the peace talks. The delayed derailment is dilatory. All right. Hinder. Yes, absolutely. And the last one, voyeur, is a person who enjoys the suffering of other people. There are multiple words for it. Let me see if you can recall that. That's a voyeur. He was accused of being a voyeur. Synonyms to it. There's one word for this person as well. Okay. बेटा hamstrung is basically कोई भी चीज जो आपको ना रोकती है एक अच्छा efficient तरीके से काम करने में. वो जो बैरिकेड है, जो स्पीड ब्रेकर है आपका, जैसे अभी मानते हैं हम, अली ने क्वेश्चन मेरे से पूछा मैम मैथ्स नहीं हो रही कैसे करें, तो मैथ्स इसलिए नहीं कर पा रहा वो क्योंकि शायद वो डरता है मैथ्स से, तो दैट फियर वुड बी hamstrung. Okay, sadist. Yes, a sadist is the word for a voyeur. Okay, getting pleasure in somebody else's pain is a sadist. Slide number 3, screenshot ले लो और फिर स्टार्ट करते हैं आर्टिकल्स. आर्टिकल, द फर्स्ट वन, will have reading comprehension questions which I would not explain to you. The language of the editorial is super easy. So you would read that and then you would answer questions and then I would explain. Not each line, but I would explain the entire paragraph in a gist. Okay? Komolika. Okay? Okay? ठीक है. Sorry. Let's move to the article 1. So now is the time for compassion towards students. Read this page, send me a done when you're done, because in the next page, a para completion question follows. Read the page and send me a done. Yes, Saurabh, exactly. Yes, Purva, that could also be true. Send me a done when you're done. Yeah, that's from Indian Express. Umesh, BYJU'S Exam Prep, CLAT. ये आपको YouTube पे सर्च करना है, you'll find our channel. Done. Okay. So, para completion. A, B, E, B. Tell me which is going to be suitable as the one completing this line. Yes, Gulshan, exactly. और इसीलिए मैं explain नहीं कर रही हूँ हर time. Okay, the first answer is D. B, D, B. Okay, all right. B and D and B and D. Okay, all right. Now let's understand the passage quickly. Let's skim through it and then we'll discuss the answers here. Okay, so they say schools have closed, and then children obviously are the biggest sufferers here. They suffer because the schools have closed. They have become different people, they have grown up. I can take the example of my child. She's never seen the school. So possibly that social interaction, meeting friends, meeting new people, learning a lot of things, she misses out on that. And I'm sure you do that too. So how can they prepare to support their emotional adjustment? Now when she or you start going back to the school, you will need an emotional adjustment. Yes. Also, how will we ensure that the development is safeguarded beyond academic achievement? ABCD आना चाहिए, 1 2 3 4 आना चाहिए, but beyond academic achievement, बाकी development आप कैसे safeguard करोगे? Is the question here. As a society, we have always struggled to accept that school is about more than academic achievement. Most of the people, 99% of the people, believe into the fact that schools are about academic achievement. आपका rank क्या आ रहा है? It's not about what else could you learn from a school. School is where you make friends, encounter bullies, face anxieties, experiment with identities. They have secret adventures. Bomb फोड़ दिया स्कूल में, स्कूल बंक कर लिया, live independent lives. What is independent life here? At your home, you don't have an independent life, but in school, you are an independent student, individual. You have no backing of your family there. So that is the place where you have your independent lives and learn who they are away from their parents. This paragraph ends with talking about families. Okay? And all of these, encountering bully, facing anxiety, experiment with identity, all of these can be done only when you are away from your parents. And that is what a school does to you. Okay? Now, A says if they have a disturbed childhood, they have a chance to live a different life where they can feel like they have. If the childhood is disturbed, they will be disturbed in the school as well as home. A is eliminated. Most of you marked B and D. B says if their home environment is unstable, they have a chance to live a different life. Okay. C says if their neighbors are notorious. Neighbors ka, there is no lena dena of neighbors to the entire idea of the passage. Yes. Okay. Now, the last one says the schools are so important that they have a chance to live a different life when they can feel like they have a higher degree of freedom and control. Now, if I had to eliminate one between B and D because both can equally be suitable, I go back to the penultimate paragraph and I take hints. Do you want to change your answers now? Do you want to change your answers now? You take the hint from the penultimate paragraph if you are confused, because the next paragraph will always stem out of the penultimate paragraph. I had taught you that with para completion questions. Yes, the answer is going to be B and not D. It's going to be B, because when you move away from parents, you learn multiple things, you have an independent life, and the schools become even more important when the parents have an unstable relationship in the home. In that case, because in their homes the environment is unstable, you don't get a life where you have freedom or you have control. Because had you had control, you would have controlled the unstable environment in your house. You don't have a control over that. So schools will give you a chance to exercise your freedom and control. So only the fact that schools are important is not the part. It continues with the penultimate paragraph talking about your family. This continues. The answer is going to be B and not D. Okay? Got that? Saurabh and Swarnavo? Okay? Yes. Okay, chalo. आगे बढ़ते हैं. That was a good question. I'm so proud of making this question. Okay, now read the remaining paragraph. Next thing. ये मैं समझा देती हूँ आपको. Next page में question. Okay. So now this is essential to their psychological development is beyond debate. What is essential for their psychological development? They moving away from their disturbed environment at home and learning higher degree of freedom and control in their school is important for their psychological development. Being home for a larger part 2 years has denied them necessary development. Yes, they could not develop. Undoubtedly, children have missed their friends, routine going to school, have induced grief and listlessness. So when they were not regular to the school, they felt grief in their heart. Beyond this, though, several children will have experienced COVID-induced health anxieties because they were locked in home, they could not go out, play, they had health anxieties, they lost people in their family, they saw violence because we know higher rate of domestic violence was reported during the pandemic. Yes, so some of them saw this as well. Financial crisis. Yes, घर में जब पापा मम्मा बात करते थे तो kids could listen to it. They could understand that, and many other issues. Okay, now read this page and first answer the synonym. Okay, answer the synonym. Exactly, Ali. Yes, correct point. Synonym. That has to be B or D. Let's read the line. Contextual meaning निकालना है, right? Let's read the line. So, despite our intention to support our children, it seems we have instead decided to manage them and place the burden of coping academically and emotionally on them alone. It is one of the greatest privileges of adulthood to develop an amnesia about how we would have. Sentence का मतलब क्या है कि when we grow up, we become forgetful about the fact that what were the struggles we had faced. It's normal for an adult to forget that. And it's the privilege that an adult has that you can easily forget about the childhood that you had had. But that should not be the case. This privilege is casuality, freedom, walkover, comfort. This is freedom. You have the freedom that you can forget about your childhood. The children, the struggle they are going through, how will they forget it? Maybe when they grow up, they can. But right now, how will they deal with it? It is freedom. Okay? And not B. It cannot be comfort. Okay? It's B. You have the freedom to forget that. Now, here you have to answer out of A, B, C, and D, which cannot be inferred from all the 2 pages that we have read. 3 pages that we have read. What cannot be inferred? Okay? Cannot be inferred. Cannot be inferred. A. Okay. What is the meaning of the first line of this page? A cannot be inferred. What does the first line mean? Everyone says A. First line का क्या मतलब है? The symptom grabbing everyone's attention seems to be an increase in screen time. What is screen time? What is screen time? TV, example of screen time. कितने लोगों ने ये मार्क कर दिया? He is an example, है ना? Not only TV, but then can you not infer that? TVs and phones. तो अगर आपको अटेंशन नहीं मिल रहा है तो आप अपना अटेंशन कहाँ ट्रैक करोगे? Screen time. That could be TVs and phone. So TV can be a reason. It can be inferred. You can't outrightly eliminate that. It can be an inference which cannot be inferred. Think again. Think again. The answer here is C. So, Gulshan, when it is an example, you can't eliminate it as not being inferred. Remember that. The answer is C. It is C. I'll tell you how. So, despite our intention to support our children, हम जब बच्चों को बोलते हैं कि ये कर लो या ये कर लो, हमारा इंटेंशन होता है हम उसको हेल्प करेंगे बच्चे को, ठीक है? तो हम इस इंटेंशन से कि हम बच्चों को हेल्प करें, that और उसमें हम क्या करते हैं, instead of deciding to manage them and place the burden of coping academically and emotionally on them alone, हम क्या करते हैं, हम उनको जब बोलते हैं कि मैनेज करो, कोप करो, ठीक है, CLAT है बोर्ड से साथ में, करो मैनेज, but that should not come at the cost of your mental stability. ठीक है, बोर्ड्स का प्रेशर आ रहा है, घर में पढ़ाई करनी है, ऑनलाइन में हेडेक होता है, मैनेज करो, कोप करो. लेकिन क्या ये कोपिंग और मैनेजिंग सही है? Or is the author criticizing the managing and coping here? He says no, coping is not important. Looking at their mental health is important. कोप नहीं करना है आपको, आपके मेंटल स्टेबिलिटी सुप्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट है. You don't have to cope. The answer is C. C cannot be inferred. उमेश, एंजाइटी का मतलब होता है बच्चे नर्वसनेस और दैट गिडी फीलिंग जो अंदर से आपको अनडिस्टर्ब्ड फील कराती है, ये होती है एंजाइटी. ओके, एग्जैक्टली. ओके पॉप्सी, बच्चे ऑलवेज कंटेक्चुअल मीनिंग. ओके, कोपिंग मतलब डील करो. सो उर्वशी, द ऑथर सेज, जब पेरेंट्स बोलते हैं ना डील करो बच्चे, तुम्हारा चॉइस है, ये तुम्हें करना पड़ेगा, that's not the solution the author says here. It's wrong at the parents' part. Okay, next question, next page पे, ठीक है? So schools, no, so that is the question here. Now, okay, let's read this paragraph, or read this paragraph and tell me the answer for synonym. Answer the synonym. Easy. Answer the synonym. Converging. ओके बच्चे, ये वर्ड मैंने कराया हुआ आपको हिंदू क्लासेस में, ये गलत नहीं होना चाहिए आपका. प्रोसीड, रीसीड. सीड इज टू गो, प्रोसीड गो अहेड, रीसीड गो बैक. वाटर रिसीड करता है. मॉनसून के टाइम हमने कितने आर्टिकल्स करे थे? वाटर रिसीडिंग. द आंसर इज विथड्रॉइंग. इट्स नॉट कन्वर्जिंग, दैट्स Withdrawing. Okay? It's withdrawing. Yes, Abhinav, that's withdrawing. Now, read the whole page. There's a question on the next page and send me a done when you're done reading the page. अब देखो यहाँ ना withdrawing into their phones for instance can well be an expression of loneliness. ये पिछले क्वेश्चन को एक्सप्लेन करता है, स्क्रीन टाइम वाले क्वेश्चन को, टीवी वाले क्वेश्चन को. स्वर्णवो हमेशा उस वर्ड का जिसके इमीडिएटली बाद क्वेश्चन लिखा हुआ है. ओके ओके डन. लेट्स लुक एट द नेक्स्ट पेज. डन एवरीवन इन द ऐप? पढ़ लिया? पेज चेंज कर दूं? Which cannot be inferred. Till D answering. Which cannot be inferred. Let's see if you can get this. Okay, D, B. A infer कर सकते हो? B. The answer is B. It's B. Adults are unable to express their feelings properly. That was written in this line. Okay? कि जैसे बच्चे नहीं बता सकते the emotions they might be going through, neither do adults. According to the author, adults can also, they don't have the vocabulary to express what they go through. Okay? Correct. Our instinct, unthinkingly, is to respond by telling them to engage. हम बोलते हैं बच्चा बोल रहा है ना हमको अनसेटलिंग फीलिंग हो रहा है. My daughter sometimes tell me, मम्मा मुझे अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. When I ask her क्यों अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, she is unable to tell. And now I don't know exactly if it's a physical or a mental thing. She sometimes tell me, मम्मा मुझे अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. So what I would usually do according to the passage, what a parent would do is that we would say, ठीक है, कुछ खेल लो, कहीं चले जाओ, फ्रेंड से मिल लो, stop feeling angry, study harder, focus more, कोई स्पोर्ट में पार्टिसिपेट कर लो. But unsurprisingly, such advice never works. Thus, engaging a child in extracurricular activities, it doesn't help their mental well-being. According to the author, it does not. Okay? And see, of course, we've discussed it twice. It is the correct inference. The answer is B here. Okay? Very good. Yes, Abhinav. If the brackets were removed, it would have been tough to answer this question. Okay. Read this paragraph and in the end, tell me the tone of the author. As the passage ends here, read this paragraph and tell me the tone. No, study harder is one of the things, and then indulge into anything. Okay, so indulgence could be extracurricular as well, but we can't infer that, right? Even if extracurricular is not mentioned, we can't infer it. What is the tone? You sure? गुलशन समझाया तो था आपको बिगिनिंग में पैसेज में, वोकैबुलरी में, लेट ज्वाइन किया था बच्चे. A short-lived fame. You sure? A, okay, B, okay, B, okay. You know the meaning of the words? Let me tell you the meaning of the words. Okay. App में आंसर क्यों नहीं आ रहे हैं? Mendacious is to lie. The author is not lying here. Expounding is expository or explanatory. Scathing and censorious are critical tones. He is criticizing. The author is not criticizing. He is explaining the idea of now that the schools are open, क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम आ सकती है और उनको कैसे कैसे डील कर सकते हैं. He is explanatory here. He is expository here. The answer is going to be expounding. 4 new words for you. Please note them down and make sure you memorize them. The answer is B. Okay? All right? Expounding. Yes. Yes, Abhinav Sai, Muskan Ragini. All of you are correct. All right. So he's explaining that in detail. Now, let's come to what is happening in with NSE and SEBI. क्या फियास्को हो रहा है? इतना ड्रामेटिक फियास्को. Unknown person. भैया कौन है ये unknown person? So much chaos coming up. Let's understand the story. Somebody asked me yesterday. I haven't made questions here, okay? Because it's a factual one. So even if you have questions, you have factual ones only, and you can do them on your own gradually. So let's understand this. So you know what SEBI is. SEBI is a board that the government regulates, and the job of SEBI is to regulate our biggest stock exchange, the National Stock Exchange. Okay, and you know when, for example, a company is listed, its shares would be visible, and NSE is responsible. National Stock Exchange is responsible for managing the entire funds and shares. So अगर NSE इतना ज्यादा monetary dealings में involve होता है तो उसको रेगुलेट करने के लिए भी एक गवर्नमेंट बॉडी होनी चाहिए. ये हो जाती है सेबी. इसका काम होता है to manage NSE and to control NSE. Okay, so SEBI earlier this month passed a significant order related to the country's largest stock exchange, the NSE of India. Now, what was this significant order? What was this important decision that they had passed? Let's understand that. As the market regulator, whose primary mandate is to protect the interest of investors in securities, SEBI. So SEBI's primary function is to protect the interest of an investor. I'm an investor, I buy some shares. I shouldn't be cheated. Something wrong doesn't happen with me because I'm dealing in money here. To protect my interest as an investor, SEBI ensures that NSE functions transparently and without any frauds. So, SEBI gave a 190-page order that raises more questions than it resolves. The purpose of this 190-page order was to resolve a mystery. But the mystery is worsened. What is the mystery? In particular, it spotlights the regulator's hardiness in adjudication, a sensitive matter involving the manner of appointment of the top-level NSE official. So there was a top-level NSE official who was appointed. If a person is at the top level of the NSE, the salary the person would pick up would be in crores. Okay, and SEBI believes that the appointment of this top-level NSE official, I'll name that person, was not done appropriately, and the then CEO and MD Chitra Ramakrishnan violated many guidelines by sharing confidential internal information with. तो बैकग्राउंड क्या हुआ? दो चीजों पे केस है. पहला, एक टॉप लेवल एनएसई ऑफिशियल को गलत तरीके से हायर किया गया. दूसरा, सीईओ और एमडी तब जो एनएसई की होती थी चित्रा रामकृष्ण, उन्होंने बहुत सारी कॉन्फिडेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन मेल में शेयर करी है विद एन अननोन पर्सन. ठीक है. नाउ टार्डीनेस सिनोनिम. I know you've already answered A, B. अच्छा. What's the answer? What does tardiness mean? It's being late. Okay? Baba ji hai pahadon wale. So, it's being late. Thus, lateness is the synonym to tardiness. Okay? So, regulators' lateness in adjudicating a sensitive matter. They became really late in adjudicating it or giving a decree or an order on these two issues. Now, who is that unknown person? Let's understand that. By SEBI's own admission, the first complaint alleging governance issues in the NSE in April 2013. This case goes back to 2013 when Anand Subramanian was appointed as the Chief Strategic Advisor of NSE. Okay, in December 2015, he was appointed. After an exchange of emails on the issue between the regulator and NSE in 2016, SEBI tasked the exchange board with determining if there has been violation of the norms. So 2015 May, Anand Subramaniam was chosen as the chief strategic advisor for NSE. And in 2016, NSE's board was asked by SEBI that are there any violations happening inside, because they had a doubt on NSE. So they asked the board, if anything is going wrong in NSE, can you please tell us? In 2017, NSE sent back a report by the board which flagged several irregularities pertaining to the appointment of Anand Subramanian, including his lack of relevant experience, and that Ms. Ramakrishnan alone had interviewed him. Ms. Ramakrishnan, then MD and CEO of NSE. So the board said that after Anand Subramaniam was appointed, there were a lot of irregularities. And one of the biggest irregularity was that he was elected, where he was interviewed by only and only one person, the then MD and CEO, that is Miss Ramakrishnan. बोला ये अकेले इंटरव्यू करके सिलेक्ट कर लिया इन्होंने, गलत है. इतना बड़ा पोजीशन पे एक ही पर्सन इंटरव्यू करेगा, कोई और पैनल नहीं होगा. Doesn't sound good. Separately but interconnected, there was another thing that came up. SEBI had, in course of its probe into another matter at the NSE, stumbled upon. एक और मैटर निकल के आया 2018 में. The documentary evidence pointing to Ms. Ramakrishnan having been in email communication sharing sensitive information with an unknown. So Ms. Ramakrishnan was involved into two different matters. One, appointing Subramanian as the chief strategic advisor without indulging or involving anybody else. Two, she used to share critical information to somebody, unknown person who we don't know yet who that person was. The secret information was shared. And when you work in an organization, you are not supposed to do that. Okay? Okay. Email wala friend. Answer. Acha, already answers are C. Synonym to probe. Yes, probe is investigation. You're right. Now let's see who this unknown person is. अब देखो ENY है. ENY is an organization that does a lot of auditing. ENY did a forensic audit on NSE, and it came out that this unknown person is none other than Mr. Subramanian. So now you think of things on your own. We have Mr. Subramanian, who is hired by Ms. Ramakrishnan. Ms. Ramakrishnan sends sensitive information to an unknown person who turns out to be Subramanian, Anand Subramanian only. तो ये 2018 में क्लियर हो गया कि अननोन पर्सन और कोई नहीं है, ये वही बंदा है जिसको इलेक्ट किया था चीफ एडवाइजर के जैसे और उनको मेल भेज दिया था. बट द स्टोरी डज नॉट एंड हियर. आफ्टर 40 months of asking for a justification to inexplicably they concluded that the unknown person guiding Miss Ramakrishna was unlikely to be Mr. Subramanian. उन्होंने बोला नहीं ये हो नहीं सकता ऐसा कि सुब्रमण्यम गाइड करेंगे मिस रामकृष्ण को, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता, ये तो अदर वे राउंड होना चाहिए. लेकिन मेल में कुछ और लग रहा था. So they said no, he can't be the one, the biggest beneficiary of the guidance by getting promoted as the group operating officer, receiving annual pay increases to 4.21 crore from 1.68 crore in April 2013. So when Mr. Subramanian was elected, in an individual interview by Ms. by Ms. Ramakrishna, his salary increased quadruple 4 times. To be sure, SEBI acknowledges that it was hamstrung by the NSE's dilatory approach in responding to its message. 40 months लगाया और उसमें भी आके बोला that it could not actually be Mr. Subramaniam. Obviously, सबसे ज्यादा बेनिफिट उन्हीं को हुआ था monetary by the movement in his hierarchy. But they said, no, 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 it could not be Mr. Subramaniam. Why will he guide this Ramakrishna? The board of a market infrastructure institution charged with safeguarding the trust of millions of investors distressingly failed to exercise crucial oversight the conduct of CEO. Apart, SEBI too hardly covers itself in glory. So the author says, देखो NSE तो अपने आप में एक फेलियर हो चुका है with this chaos, this fiasco. SEBI too hasn't done a very good job by controlling the idea. The regulator spills far too much ink on almost voyeuristically sharing the contents of the email exchanges between Miss Ramakrishnan and her unknown guide. क्योंकि अभी तक श्योरिटी तो है नहीं कि वो unknown guide Mr. Subramanian ही है. Even as it concludes that it is unable to establish any specific loss caused to the investor. अब देखो NSE का क्या रिपोर्ट आता है. NSE ये कहता है कि देखो we know that Ramakrishna has a secret guide जिसके साथ वो ईमेल में गाइडेंस लेती हैं, लेकिन इससे ना इन्वेस्टर को कोई लॉस नहीं हुआ है, तो आपको डरने की जरूरत नहीं है. ये NSE ने बोला है एंड मिस रामकृष्ण ने बोला है. The onus is now on SEBI to reaffirm that there are no holy cows in its regulatory regime and that it remains laser focused on protecting small investors. Tone of the author. Tone of the author, everyone. Tone of the author. बिल्कुल होगी. अच्छा, one important announcement. आज 12:30 everybody, I'm starting with vocabulary through etymology. 4 classes. Come with me. Learn tons of words every day through etymology. 12:30 on BYJU'S Exam Prep BBA YouTube channel. Search for BYJU'S Exam Prep BBA on YouTube. You'll find the channel. Subscribe to it. Attend my class at 12:30. I'll make sure you learn so many new words today through etymology. Turn of the author. Critical and expository. थोड़ा सा critical है, but mostly expository है. Okay? All right. Yes, Ragini, you're right. Okay. मयूर पढ़ाई कर लो बेटे. All right. Let me open up today's newspapers and let's see what's important that we need to study today from the newspapers, Indian Express and the Hindu. Others who are leaving, make sure you see me at 12:30. So here we go. Visible in the background. Shruti, figure of speech अभी तो लिया था बच्चे last week. No, it's not sarcastic, Shivani, because he's not making fun. Actually, आपको sarcastic इसलिए लग रहा है क्योंकि हमने इस तरीके से पढ़ लिया कि हमको हंसी आ रही थी. But he is not holy cow है जो कुछ गलत नहीं करेगा. Ali. Okay. All right. Now let's look at today's newspapers. First article. No. Don't read that, okay? Don't read that. Next article. Skim. So देखो, now I've explained the whole article. ठीक है? About Chitra Ramakrishna and Mr. Subramaniam. You will understand the red pen movement. Ragini, I'm sure you'll understand this article now. Skim through it. If you still don't understand that, please message me under my video in the comment section that you want me to take this article, okay? Now this is good. Please read this. This is very good. Next page. सेकंड वाली क्लास लूंगी बच्चे, इस वीक प्लान करते हैं. Of course, Saki, you should. Okay. No, only skim. This is good. This is good. Please read that. Okay. Now text and context. If you know what's happening at Ukraine, you would understand this article. You could skim through it. They're merely explaining that. I'm sure Abhimanyu sir ने एक article ले लिया था इस पे. Yes, 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 yes. ये बहुत अच्छा है, इसको पढ़ लेना. And this is also a very good one. Please read this. Now let's come to page that keeps promoting Shurojit sir. मैम डाउट है मैम, आरसी फैक्ट बेस्ड क्वेश्चन को जल्दी कैसे बनाएं, प्लीज बता दो प्लीज. गुलशन, आज मेरी आपके बैच में क्लास है शायद. आज नहीं है, 23rd को भी नहीं है, 24th को है. 24th को क्लास में ये चीज डिस्कस करते हैं गुलशन. ओके. इट इज सखी, इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट. US Partnership for Post-Pandemic World, Kim, dealing with COVID beyond pandemic. Yes, बिल्कुल पढ़ना है. India has become safer since 2014. छोड़ देना. Sandhya Mukherjee's notes on sweetness and light, Kim. India's Ukraine dilemma, yes, read that. Beijing Olympics will go down as China's failed attempt to use missiles for political propaganda, Kim. Showdown between Kim. PM's linking, Kim. That is all for today, everybody. So, मैम अगर text and context ना पढ़े हिंदू और Indian Express isn't sufficient, Anushka, otherwise it's sufficient, okay? Alright, so, alright guys, going to wind up the class. You want me to take a class on cause and effect? Do that, it's super easy, super simple. So I should see you all at 12:30 everyone. Have a very, very good day and God bless you. Bye everyone.